Hi, my name is Erika Gurnsey, and my presentation is over Redemptor Hominis, written by Pope John Paul II. In Pope John Paul II's words to each of us and all believers, he was stressing several points. The first was to strengthen the moral dimension of our progress. Now, what does this mean? It means we have come a long way, but we need to keep growing in our faith. The second point was that we need to make an effort to draw all men to Christ. This means we need to seek out those who may not be as strong or may not be drawn to the church and their faith. This leads us to ecumenism, and Pope John Paul II's point was to use this as a way to draw all men into the faith and to Christ. Ecumenism means simply to promote a unity between all men, no matter what church or group they may belong to. Lastly, Pope John Paul II talked about defending human rights and the role each of us has to play in this defense. To better understand his main points in the Redemptor Hominis, the Pope discussed several key points. The first was our inheritance. Most importantly, Jesus Christ is the center of the universe and of history. We all know history is continually moving forward, and we are all a part of it. But from the very beginning, God gave human life the dimension that He wanted for us. Pope John Paul II was trying to tell us we need to continue to strengthen ourselves morally through a united fellowship with other Christians and the Church. Pope John Paul II explained in Redemptor Hominis the mystery of the redemption by urging each of us to get close to Christ and the Church. He emphasized that there is no salvation in anyone else but Christ the Father. The Church has the important role of encouraging each person to find himself in Christ and reestablish the meaning of the Church in our lives. In speaking about the redeemed man and his situation in the modern world, Pope John Paul II was explaining to us that each of us has fears and self-doubt, but those things are of concern of Christ as well. We all need to look out for each other and respect others in society. Christ gave each of us the task to look over the earth but keep our ethical behavior when we are engaged in things like technology, so that we do not become slaves to the worldly things on earth. Lastly, the Redemptor Hominis detailed the Church's mission and man's destiny. The main objective of the Church is to bring man and the Church together as one. To do this, the Church has to continue to provide teachings that man can relate to in their everyday lives and in their faith. One of the best ways to express this is through the celebration of the sacraments. Each person reaches their fullness in the Eucharist. Christ is present for us and is received by each of us. There were some controversies after Redemptor Hominis was written. Pope John Paul II expressed strong opinions on euthanasia and abortion, but there was even more discussion on his statements on the immorality of contraception and allowing women to be ordained in the Catholic Church. Several teachings of Redemptor Hominis are still relevant today. The Church and each of us as believers need to make an effort to reach out to each other and to unite to get together and share the teachings of the Church. The solution could be in looking for better understanding of ourselves as humans and then searching deeper to learn more about Christ. This was something Pope John Paul II called personalism, or understanding ourselves as unique human beings. As history continues to move forward, both the Church and each of us have a role in man's purpose in uniting with all believers. This is what Pope John Paul II hoped we would take away from his writing of Redemptor Hominis.